Alright, now we're going to read a book of the Worried website. Holly's Worried. Mr. Speed told me to hand the market homework out and asked me to read aloud to the others and sent me with a message to the head. I passed the homework books bang on the desk. I read aloud in a bored, flat, can-be bothered voice, and I diled down the corridor so slowly after giving my message I missed half the lesson. I wonder why you're in such a bad mood today, Holly, said Mr. Speed. I shrugged and pointed. Mr. Speed irritates me. He looks so funny I very nearly gave it a giggle. Maybe you need a bit of peace and quiet. I know. How about a little computer practice? I knew this was a crafty blow. Mr. Speed wanted me to cross his Worried website, and I couldn't resist. I typed it in. Remember, I think I'm going to get a stepmother. I wish she was wicked. Comments. You're nuts. What is she on about? How do you know the person with the worry is a girl? Because it's such a silly girl thing. You're being that sexist. Look, what about he's her problem? What problem? Half of kids get stepmothers. I've got one and she's okay. I've got a mom and dad and a stepmom and a stepdad, and it's great at Christmas and birthday because you get to lose of parents. Why do you want a wicked stepmother? I've got a wicked stepmother. You can't have mine. I didn't think these comments practically kind or contradictory. They were other even more useless suggestions than I related. I sat staring at the screen, wishing I could delete myself. Mr. Speed saw me and whistled right over before I could quiet to the website. So you're having a peep at a Worried website, Holly. Interesting worry. Have you typed in one your comment for this poor soul who wants a wicked stepmother? He was trying to kid me that the website is under enemy myths, but I'm not daft. I gave him a long, hard look. I'm the poor soul, Mr. Speed. You know it's me. Yes, that's very true, Holly. You gave me out. You haven't put a comment. It's also true. Okay. He leaned over me and typed, I don't know why you want a wicked stepmother. Perhaps you can elaborate? He waited. I figured it. Elaborate means to tell me more, said Mr. Speed. I know I don't have high depth. It's all worldly. It's my dad and Miss Morgan. Mr. Speed's eyes opened wide. Are Miss Morgan? This is highly comfortable, Mr. Speed, I said hurriedly. Mom's the word, said Mr. Speed, finger on his lips. So I told him. His eyes got wider and wider like the dog in a fairy tale with eyes as big as dinner plates. Your dad's a very lucky man, he said eventually, and I should imagine your hand is thrilled. So how do you feel, Holly? I feel bad, I said, and I keep acting bad, and then I feel even worse. And Miss Morgan is always so nice about it. I want her to be bad. If she was really weak like Snow White's stepmother, then I could hate her and be horrid to her, and it would be perfectly okay. I can't quite imagine Miss Morgan trying to force you to eat poison's apples, said Mr. Speed, let alone hiring an X-Man to chop you into the little bits in the middle of the forest. I think I've got a worry that can't be solved, I said grumpily. Well, we could just fiddle with the meaning of wicked. I've always thought Miss Morgan an electrically lovely, delightful young woman. This is also highly comfortable, Holly. I especially admire her amazing purple boots. We could well say she looks seriously wicked, right? I groaned. Sorry, Mr. Speed shook his head at me apologetically. I'll work on it. But there aren't always easy answers to worries. You know that? Tell you something thought. You're not bad. You'll steal my little star. You'll get your twinkle back soon, you'll see. I kept out of Miss Morgan's way the week. I delivered Hannah off at the door of the reception class, but didn't go in myself. Dad went out with Miss Morgan on Friday night, but he came home early when I was still sitting up in bed reading my fairy tale book. He popped his head round the door to tell me to put the light off and go to sleep. He seemed all sad and scrawly. Maybe he'd had a row with Miss Morgan. However, she came round to our house on Saturday looking extra especially lovely in a long purple dress with little mirrors all round him. Let me see if I can see my face, said Hannah, kneeling down and peering into each mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? Mirror, mirror on her skirt, who is acting like a stupid little skirt, I said, yanking Hannah upright. Ouch, you're so grumpy now, Holly. I don't want you to come round the town with us because you spoil everything, said Hannah. Good, I don't want to come, I said, but I feel bad, bad. My eyes went all worldly because even Hannah didn't want me anymore. I think we won't all go round the town today, said Miss Morgan. Her eyes were as glassy as the little mirrors on her skirt. Maybe Holly and I might just go shopping together. What about me? Said Hannah eagerly. I'll take you to the library and swing with Hannah, and then we'll have an ice cream or two or three or four or five in McDonald's, okay? Said Dad. Hannah had her mouth open to purchase Billy, but he got scared by the ice cream treat. Maybe my mouth was open too. I didn't get what was going on. I don't want to go shopping, I said. Yes, you do if you've got money in your pocket, said Dad, and he handed me a £10 note. I couldn't believe it. £10 all for me. So I slapped it off Miss Morgan. I decided I wasn't going to speak to her thoughts. Not one word all the way into town, but the weird thing was, she didn't say one word to me either. She just strolled along in her purple pointy boots, and whenever I glanced her, she glared at me. I'd never seen her glare before, not even when Hannah's friction class got really, really ruddy and started drawing powder paint about. It might have been Hannah who started it because she ended up rainbows colored right down to her knickers. It's sort of scary when a smiley person goes all glary. The slight silence was starting to get on my nerves, so much that I blurted out, I want to go to Claire's accessories to get some of those little butterfly slide and maybe one of those little lucky bead bracelets. Miss Morgan sniffed. You're lucky all right, Holly. Your dad spoils you so, and you've certainly been acting like a spoiled brat recently. I'm getting sick of it. I stared at her. It was as if she suddenly started spitting tooth. You're not supposed to talk to me like that. You're a teacher, and I'm also your dad's girlfriend, and if you'd only give us a chance, I think we'd be really happy together. But you just want to muck everything up, don't you? Can you see how unhappy you're making your dad? He's only unhappy because of you. You've mucked everything up. It was really great before, when it was just Hannah and Dad and me. You felt great, said Miss Morgan, and she snapped her boost so that her skirt swung and all the little mirrors glittered. Didn't you realize how lonely your dad felt? He wasn't a bit lonely, and anyway, maybe my mom might come back and then he'd had her, wouldn't he? You know perfectly well your mom isn't ever going to come back, and even if she did, your dad wouldn't want her. She walked out on all of you. Even little Hannah, I don't see how she could ever have done that. Why do you act like she's so wonderful when she could do a wicked thing like leave her own children? You're wicked and I hate you. I wish you'd stomp off in your silly boots and never ever come back. Tears spilled down my cheeks. Why did you have to turn out so horrible? Oh, Holly, said Miss Morgan. Tears streamed down her cheeks too. I'm sorry, I'm wicked. I don't want to be horrible. I can't do this anymore. It's awful. I like you too much. No, you don't. No one does. No one wants me. I want you very, very much, she said. She put her arms around me and we hugged. Right there in the street, I cried and she cried. We kept on hugging. I sniffed so much I dripped on her purple dress, but she didn't mind a bit. She found her hanky and I blew my nose and she blew her nose too. And then we went off to this posh coffee shop and had a wonderful grown-up body coffee and an apple vanishing precisely each. I had difficulty eating mine and first because I have hiccups from all the crying. Miss Morgan saw me whispering. They're not poison apple, I promise, she said. I peered at her subscale, spooning up the form from my coffee. What's Mr. Speed been saying to you? Mr. Speed, said Miss Morgan. That's nonchalant. She shook her head, tossing her lovely long hair over her shoulder. Oh, nothing in particular. You know what teachers are like. They also back each other up. I think Mr. Speed might have told her my worried, even thought it's supposed to be confidential. He was just trying to act like a fairy godmother and grandma. Wish I had a sudden vision of Mr. Speed in a very frank clenching a band and laughed so much I blew the rest of my throat of my coffee. What? Said Miss Morgan, giggling a bit too. Oh, nothing in particular, I said. I thought for a bit. Miss Morgan, I'm sorry I said all that stuff. I do really hate you. I'm sorry to Holly. I didn't mean all of the stuff I said either. I was just feeling fed up and worried because your dad said on Friday that we might have to stop seeing each other. If it was making you so unhappy, we always put you in Hannah first. Well, you come second, I said, patting her hand, and I'll tell Dad I don't really want you to break up. Yes, you might end up with a really wicked stepmother, and Miss Morgan, and she pulled this dreadful, phony, furious face. I laughed and she laughed, and we both knew we'd kind of made friends. They never seem to do that in fairy stories, do they? Then they went shopping, and I bought Miss Morgan a little comb for her long, thick hair, and I got Dad some gel for his short, thin hair. I found some butterflies lace, but I thought them for Hannah. I chose special little gold star slice for me. Miss Morgan said they really suited me. I wore them to school on Monday, and Greg said they looked lovely, and Mr. Speed said I seemed to be twinkle splendidly. He had a twinkle in his eyes too. Miss Morgan said she's going to make Hannah and me special dresses. Hannah is going to have little mirrors, and mine is going to have stars embroidered all over. I suppose they could just be birthmade dresses. Thank you.